This is Adrian Biddle, producer of The Dark and the Wicked, The Blackcoat's Daughter, and The Monster, and you're listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Horror Squad podcast. This is episode number 189. Tonight we're talking about Dead Silence, which came out in 2007, directed by James Wan, written by Lee Winnell. We have your usual co-host here. We have Sam, who's munching on something. I don't know what. Joe, looking thick and bearded. Not that he's thick. His beard's thick. Whatever. Steve, rocking the red Horror Squad shirt. And myself, wondering, how's your wiener, buddy? Like, ever since you pissed out a rock, is it recovered fully? Do you have any...
Damn.
Wow, you were bringing it back like last month.
Callbacks. I was taking a poop
Mm-hmm.
earlier, and I was thinking about Steve's wiener.
Oh,
great.
that's fun.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's a temporary pain. It's not it doesn't last too long. But I did want to mention, while I have the mic, that this movie, so we decided to have our Discord pick what movie they wanted us to review this week. So a bunch of them gave us suggestions, and then we each picked one from that list, and then they voted which one would win, which ended up with Dead Silence. And that was actually a choice by Garen97. And I asked him why he picked Dead Silence, and he said, Dead Silence just happens to be one of my favorite movies. I've always loved creepy dolls and puppets since I was a kid, and I have quite the love for ventriloquist dummies for no particular reason except that they're odd and interesting. It was only fitting that I would love this movie with my combined love of horror and dummies, but I don't hear many talk about this movie in depth, so I was curious to see what you all thought. So thank you for the suggestion, and for everyone for their suggestions and their votes. So yeah, it was a good time.
It was. I'm very happy that we picked this one. There could have been stinkers like Jersey Shore Shark Attack. Didn't win, thankfully. For the
one day. Everyone was really upset that Joyride didn't win. A lot of Joyride fans out there, apparently.
I figured it'd be Joyride or Dead Silence that we would review. So I'm happy with tonight's movie.
Yeah.
We can put Joyride on the list if we ever need something.
Yeah, none of us picked Joyride though, so
no,
it didn't even make it to the vote. It is what it is. Actually, speaking of that, so just I know people are going to be curious about it. I think it's Joe. You're the one who picked Dead Silence out of that list.
I am.
Yeah. And then Sam had Vacancy. Todd had From Dusk Till Dawn, and I had In the Mouth of Madness. But Dead Silence won. It was close between that and In the Mouth of Madness. Vacancy got one vote and no love for From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, come on. That's surprising to me.
Yeah, me too. But
it gets reviewed a lot, though.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a safe movie.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I'm not 100% knowledgeable on is Mouth of Madness. I haven't seen that one in a long time.
Yeah,
it's very good. I rewatched it last year, and well, not even rewatched. It was my first time I ever watched it. Well, it was last year, and I loved it. So I definitely recommend going and checking it out or rewatching if you haven't seen it in a while, because it's very good. Yeah. Todd, I want to go back to the poop talk real quick, though. Because Sam and I went up to Vermont this weekend at my friend's lake house, and they had a bidet, and I have never used a bidet in my life, so I was very excited to be able to use a bidet.
Wait,
for the.
Do you guys not have that in the U.S.?
It's not that common.
No, bidets aren't a thing in the U.S.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's not like a popular thing. You don't see it very often. So they had one there, so I was very thrilled to use it for my first time, and I gotta say, life-changing experience. It was amazing. Really cleans you, and I'm gonna be seeking one out now. My friend said you can buy them on Amazon for like $25. It attaches right to your toilet. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be buying one for my bathroom now.
Fun fact: when I moved into this house, the guy that owned the house had every bathroom had a bidet in it.
Really?
And
see, he knows what's up.
He was an odd fellow. But no, we removed them all. It was tried it out a couple times. I'm like, you know what? But if people don't know what it is, it's a jet stream of water that sprays in your ass and cleans the poop off for you, so you don't have to wipe. Mm-hmm. It's an acquired taste, I guess you can say. But Sam, more interested in your take on it. Was it a yay or nay?
Sam's eating her popcorn.
It's chowing down.
All right. So I had been telling Joe for a long time that we should get a bidet.
She has.
And he's like, no, that's weird, man. Don't need it. Don't care. Blah, blah, blah. So the bidet. I let Joe use it first because I was kind of scared, because in my mind, I'm like, well, isn't the water just spraying the poop all over the toilet? Doesn't the water that's spraying up your asshole just kind of fall and trickle back onto the sprayer, where it's kind of like drinking out of a water fountain? So I was worried about that. And our friend showed us like how it sprays out and stuff like that. And then Joe told me that he used it. And I was like, all right, well, what's the ratio? Spray to poop to wiping? Like, I need to know. Set me up so I don't fail. So I didn't go poop, but I tried it once and it scared me at first. And then I was like, interesting. And that's it.
And then Joe was like 3 a.m. He's like, where's Sam? And you just hear the bathroom. Oh yeah. Oh, fucking bidet.
I'm good. Thanks though.
They do have a woman's feature too, which I'm assuming sprays your butthole and
Called
your
the tickler.
lady bits.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we'll update you. I'm gonna buy one on Amazon, and I'll give you because he also gave me a caveat, because at the lake house the water pressure isn't very good. He's like, wait till you get one at home. He's like, the water pressure is amazing. He's like, and it's even better. So I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens here. Enough bidet talk.
Good time.
I would have sent you all 3 of mine for free.
I would have taken it, Todd. I
Lightly
really would've.
used.
Yes. Actually, before we get into questions, I did want to make an announcement because I forgot to last week. A very exciting announcement here, and that is we are going to be hosting a signing with Damien Maffei from Haunt and the Strangers Prey at Night fame. He is going to be coming to Silver Moon Comics and Collectibles here in Salem, Massachusetts, and me and Sam will be there at the signing. We're going to have a Horror Squad table set up next to Damien, and Damien will be signing autographs. So that will be Saturday, October 16th. Still working on the times and whatnot, but we'll update you on the podcast as time goes on. So I know a few people already. We announced it over on the Discord already. So if you're not on Discord already, this is the stuff you're missing out on, getting early access and whatnot. But just keep following us on all social medias and all that, and we will update you as it gets closer. But hope to see some of you guys out there.
Exciting stuff. For the Discord people there, we got a little book club going on. I think we're about 9 strong now. And we voted on our book for September through to October. So September 1st, October 1st, we're going to be reading Grady Hendrix' The Final Girl Support Group, which is about basically a love letter to horror movies where the final girls get together from those horror movies and they have like a survivors meeting and they start getting bumped off. So we're excited to do that. If you're interested in reading, come over to Discord. We'll get you hooked up with Goodreads and we'll go from there.
I also have some exciting news to share.
Oh.
So for those of you listening, if you did not know, I'm doing an annual photo challenge. It's hashtag 100 days of Halloween happy. You post a photo per the prompt on that specific day that we are on. And one of my prompts over the weekend was Elvira, and she shared my challenge on her Instagram. Like, she posted a little photo and she was like, thanks Halloween happy for including me in your challenge. And she like tagged my account. So that was really cool. So she's practically my mom now. So
nice.
That's really awesome.
mm-hmm.
Did she do that last year as well?
I don't know if she did a post. I know she like reshared them in her stories, but that's what I was telling Joe. I was like, I think she did that last year too. And a lot of people commented saying that we look alike, and I can see it too. So maybe she is my real mom. Maybe my actual mom adopted me and Elvira was my real mom.
Well, 2 years in a row, that's official. That's like, that means she knows. She's like waiting for it. You know, she's looking at her Instagram and she's like, when's my prompt coming this year? Back in the day. And
well, we'll see you next year, Elvira.
Oh, that's awesome. I have nothing to announce, but I did go to Spirit Halloween for the first time of the season, which was great. However, it was like maybe 25% full. It was kind of odd. Like, I'm almost questioning why they would bother opening it if it's so low stock. And I've heard that from multiple people who've been to Spirit Halloween over the last week. Now I get it that they're in the space and I guess they're waiting for stuff, so I guess it doesn't hurt to open, but still kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of like you anticipated all year and then you go there and it's like almost everything's empty. Almost looks like you went 2 days after, Halloween or something. But I did buy a couple things and I do plan on going at least once a week just to check out new stuff that's coming in. So if you have Spirit Halloweens in your area, could be open. So look out for it. Have any of you guys been to your Spirits yet, or? No?
Not yet. They opened though. They opened on Saturday, so I'm sure Sam and I will venture over there at some point this week to check it out.
Nice. All right. So questions. You can ask us those questions on social media at the Horror Squad Podcast, or of course on our Discord. A super active week on Discord. People were in rare form this week, just talking about a lot of activity in the book club. You have a lot of food talk in our mess hall, and of course a lot of horror talk as well. We're challenging each other with horror games and realizing just how great at guessing horror movies we are just by one screenshot. So very impressed by how fast people guess the movies, and sometimes pretty obscure films. So that's really cool. So if you want to join us there, it is completely free to join. You just need the Discord app and ask one of us for the link and we will send it to you. So the first question this week is from Samantha. It says, new listener here. Love your podcast too, Sam. This is more of a question for Sam and Joe. I'm visiting Salem this October. Any secret local spots to check out? We go every October and always find new places and things to do.
Oh, I'm going to give this one to Sam because she is the aficionado of all things Salem.
Not as much as you are, Joe. Take it away.
Not as much as you are, Sam. Take it away.
Both of you do it. Be quiet.
Not as much as you, Joe. So you take it away.
I mean, as far as like I don't know, like there's nothing that comes to mind as far as like secret places. I mean, everything's like, it's a very small town, so like everything's kind of known about. I guess for like food places, Sam and I have been going to a place called Mercy Tavern a lot lately. That's very good, and it's a little off the beaten path.
That's a chicken sandwich place?
No, they have a little bit of everything. But what Sam and I love the most there, they have like this grilled cheese sandwich that has like egg and cheese and avocado on it, and it's really good. They make really good burgers there too, though, and their drinks are really good too. What is it called, Tim? The Double Jeopardy? Is that the drink you like?
I forget. Not the Double Jeopardy, because I always think that's what it's called, but it's
Final Jeopardy.
Final Jeopardy.
Final Jeopardy. Yeah. That is definitely a place to go check out. It's down by the wharf, which actually that's another place, I guess. Go to the wharf because a lot of people head down that way. It's from the waterfront. There's also some pretty cool shops down there. There's an antique shop that Sam and I like to go to. So definitely head down there. And other than that, I don't know. Anything else, Sam, that jumps in your head?
And also check out Die With Your Boots On and use code Halloween Happy. Save 10%.
Is that a store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've never heard of it. So it's a local Salem thing, I guess.
Yeah, they sell like goth, I guess, right? Like more like gothy style clothing.
It's weird fashion for the weird people.
Yes.
Very nice. All right, next question is from Eleanor0858. She says, share scariest, most frightening doll dummy from a movie or TV episode. So what's the scariest doll out there, according to you guys?
I'll go. So I was really afraid of the clown from Poltergeist.
You ever see the remix, Sam?
Poltergeist? Yeah. Only once, though. I don't really remember it, to be honest.
It's got Ethan Hawke, or is that Kevin Bacon in the remake?
I don't think either.
I don't think
Really?
No,
either.
it's Sam Rockwell.
There you go. Yeah, he's really good too.
Hmm.
Scary doll. I don't know. Probably Chucky when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Yeah.
The Poltergeist doll is awesome, and I really hope like Trick or Treat Studios or someone makes a replica of that, because that is something I've been searching for years, of like a replica of that clown doll, because it's so awesome. One that really sticks in my head is Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, where like there was like a girl who was like a doll, like she was like locked up in her attic. Some people will know exactly what I'm talking about, but she was like just a normal girl, but she like looked like a doll, and she was like locked in the attic, and like she was like, I don't know, it's weird, but it was fucking creepy as hell, and it gave me nightmares as a kid.
Yeah. So she specifies a movie TV episode. So I'd say Annabelle is probably like one of the scariest dolls out there. But by far the scariest dolls out there are the ones my mom keeps in her guest bedroom. And every time I go sleep over there, they're like staring into my soul as I sleep. Like, so
porcelain dolls or something.
Yeah, she owns this collection of porcelain dolls, and it's the ones where the eyes like open and close. Like, I don't know, they bat their eyes or whatever, and they're like super old, and they're all still in their boxes. And I swear they're staring at me when I'm sleeping in that room when I visit over there. So yeah, that's probably the scariest dolls out there. So thanks, Mom. Just it's like she does it on purpose, I think.
She should send you one.
Yeah, no. She actually tried to pawn one off last time I went there. Her and my grandmother like conspired to try to get me this super creepy doll, thinking it would work well in my Halloween collection. But I'm like, no, no, thank you. All right. So next question is from Witch Static. Did you guys catch the Easter egg in the movie? I'm assuming she's assuming Billy.
Billy?
Yeah, probably.
I didn't. When was that?
When all the dolls were there.
Yeah, he's one of the dolls.
He's in there somewhere.
He's actually on the ground. He's not like inside like a cabinet. He's actually like on the floor next to
That was one of my trivia questions.
So we have 2 Billies in this movie, is what you're trying to tell me.
That's right. Yeah, we have 2 Billies in this movie. So
very interesting. Did the movie come out before or after The Conjuring?
This came out before The Conjuring, I believe.
Did you? Okay.
The Conjuring was what, 9?
So
Conjuring was in the 2010s because it was in my list.
Okay, yeah. This was really a precursor to Annabelle, really, for James Wan. Okay, cool.
He definitely has a theme to his,
he does.
his later movies. So yes, I did catch it, but I think I caught it because I knew it was there. I watched this in like December, November of last year. I did it in my What Watched. We even discussed it quite a bit when I did my What Watch, because I started questioning if we'd actually done the episode already on this movie. And I actually went back and checked on the list because I thought maybe we had done it, but no, it was just a What Watch discussion. Next question from Jonathan. Would you be able to not scream if confronted by Mary Shaw?
Probably not. That would get ripped right out.
I think so. I think I would react the way I did watching it, where you get the chills, get the goosebumps. So yeah, I was going to mention later though that our main character is really good at not being scared, like super good.
Yeah.
He's brave. What can you say?
So screaming isn't my reaction to getting scared, so I don't think I'd scream when I saw her. I'd probably like go into swear and attack mode. Like that's my natural reaction to fear, is like get my guard up and like swear. So I don't think screaming would be what I would do. So maybe I'd be safe from Mary Shaw, but I don't want to be in that situation to be that scared of having like this old freaking lady in your room. Next question is from Raz. Why do you think that foreign horror movies seem a lot creepier, include better plots, and are overall better made than US produced films, nowadays especially?
I saw that on the Discord. I wouldn't agree with that. I think we see the best of the best from foreign films. Like most of them, the best ones get picked up, whether it's Shudder or whatever, Netflix, whatever you got. The ones that suck don't usually get to the bigger audience, which is the US, right? So I think, like I said, we're getting the best of the best from Korea, Japan, whatever it is. And if you think about it too, like all J horror is pretty much the same kind of movie, yeah, there's trash everywhere, whether it's US, Canadian, English, Korean, whatever. So yeah, I disagree with that.
I agree with you, Todd. That point exactly. So I really don't have anything to add to it.
I agree as well.
Yeah, and the same thing for me. I've seen some absolute trash from other countries because I'm looking at, like Tubi and stuff. I'm not just going on like Shudder where they picked up the big releases and, so yeah, there's definitely some trash in all countries. That's
I don't know. I don't know if you guys know this, but Tubi has Tubi originals now.
I saw that. Actually, I wanted to
Hi,
watch the movie
Tubi.
you watched, and when I
Yeah.
saw your review, I'm like, maybe not.
It'll be on my what watch, so stay
Okay.
tuned for Swim.
Yeah. If you're a Tubi original, that's that's. I don't know if that's something to brag about. But please sponsor us, Tubi. Next one is from Eric. Who would you choose to play Mary Shaw in a remake, and why do you choose Damien Mathey?
Oh shit. Ooh, who am I casting? Mary Shaw.
She's still alive, so let's get her back.
Lynn
Let's get her back in.
Shay.
Lynn Shay.
Yeah.
But not the movie where she goes beep beep bop boop. Not that performance.
Or in something about Mary.
Oh.
Beware the boobs, the saggy boobs of
The
Mad.
great one, man. Is it the Frank or the Beans? I think we're recasting the actress that played her because she's still alive. I just looked her up, so
She is. All right, cool.
Ooh.
we're sticking with her.
She's
Born
like
in the
90
30s.
something. Yeah.
Hey, bring her on.
Hey,
Did
she
she,
can
like,
still act.
Did she do anything else with like in her career? Or is she like this
Did
like her
you?
claim to fame?
No, she's
No,
got,
I'm
like,
just wondering.
That's so mean. Did
I haven't
you?
done anything. I am gonna have my acting debut coming up though, so stay tuned.
Hey, she was in that show. You guys watched Nosferatu?
Was
2
she?
episodes of
Oh,
that,
okay.
yeah.
Was?
Yeah,
Is
she
this
played
one of the
Jolene
vampires?
July, whoever that is.
Oh,
She's got a very long career, actually.
good for her.
Nice. Nosferatu, R.I.P.
It wasn't that
Canceled.
good. So
No, it wasn't.
I would hire Bonnie Aarons. You know, she plays good, creepy ladies. So and
Good one.
I think that would be probably the best choice. She was actually, someone told me she was in something. Oh, Jacob's Wife, which is a new movie over on Shudder that, despite people telling me not to, I think I'm still going to watch. It stars.
Of course
Barbara.
you will, Steve. Of
Well,
course you will.
CM Punk, the wrestler, is really plugging it, so I'm wondering if he appears in it. So I might watch it just anything as a pro wrestler, and if for some reason I get attracted to. So
Did you like his movie there? He did.
it wasn't
all right.
terrible. Yeah.
No, it wasn't
terrible. Like
Yeah.
it's, you know, he was fine in it. It's
Yeah.
just the movie itself had a little bit left to be desired, but it wasn't the worst movie I've seen, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was a bit original. It was fucking bizarre. I'll give it
Yeah.
that.
Was that the girl on the third floor or something like that?
Yeah,
That's exactly it. All right. So next question is from Garen97, the same person who picked tonight's movie. Do you own any Dead Silence merchandise? Personally, I have the Tots Billy puppet.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's really cool.
Did you ever get that, Joe? I thought you were looking at it.
I was looking at it, but I never did, just because well, I mean, we'll get into this later in the review, but like the first time I saw Dead Silence, I was like, oh, you know, it was all right. And I really hadn't watched it since. And that's actually the exact reason why I picked it for tonight's movie. And you'll hear my thoughts later on whether I liked it better or not. And maybe I will be picking up the Billy puppet now. We'll see.
Spoiler. I do not. I only have a Blu-ray, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I know Tots also sells that clown puppet too from the end scene.
Nothing either over here.
And I just have the DVD. Nothing either. No autographs. No, nothing from this movie. But I would love to get Mary Shaw's autograph if she's
Yeah, that'd be
signing
cool.
anything.
She'd be the number one, I think, and then number two, Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, and number 3, Donnie Wahlberg's razor.
Exactly.
I kept thinking, like, aren't the little hairs falling on his neck and itching him like all day?
I have a whole thing about that fucking razor
Alright,
that we'll
we'll
talk
get
about
there.
later. Yeah. Is that question? Also, would you like to see a sequel to this movie, or would you like a prequel that discusses more of Mary Shaw's story, or both?
Yes to both. I don't, God, I don't want to say too much here because I don't want to obviously give away my thoughts on the movie, but I think this is, I'll just say, I think this has good potential to like be like a franchise.
It did. I don't know about it anymore.
Right. The time
And-
has
yeah.
probably sailed. Yeah.
Plus, people now would probably be like, it's an Annabelle ripoff, even though this one came earlier.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it bombed, so it didn't get a sequel. But I would have preferred, some kind of saga around it. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I personally would have preferred a prequel, I think, in this particular case, because the stuff they do give us in the movie, explaining kind of how they got there, was super interesting. I think could make for a great movie. And also just to see kind of what the village people and stuff, like the people in that town, thought about it
Village
and all that.
people.
Like the village people.
YMCA.
YMCA.
Right? Yeah.
I call the cop. Joe can be the construction worker.
Thank you. Who would Sam be?
Native American.
The Native American? Okay.
Yep.
I'll
Like
be the
Wednesday Addams.
Yeah. You should be the Navy guy, Todd. That's the.
That's
Is there a
true.
Navy guy? Yeah.
Probably.
I think there is.
I'll be the biker.
Oh, nice.
you got the costumes. There you go.
Right.
The assless chaps.
Right. Yeah, so that's my answer for that. Next one is from horror fan Ryan. How many dolls do you think you could fight off before they would take you down? I think I could fight 50 before they would finally overrun me and take me out.
That's a nice round number. I like
No
that.
chance you're taking on $50, man. That's
But what are the rules? Do they have human strength in a doll body, or are they like Chucky where you can just kick them across the room?
I'd say let's go Chucky, because technically
Yeah.
none of them are really alive, right? So they're not really doing anything. So you could take all 100, but let's say Chucky.
Chucky? I think you're good with Chucky. He's like 5 pounds tops. You just kick him. Get your cleats on.
I think it'd be like the zombie mentality. Like a horde of them eventually are going to overtake you, and 50 are definitely going to overtake you. I'd say even 20 could overtake you.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like the little ashes in Army of Darkness. Like one little ash is nothing, but combined, they were a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Stick with me, Sam. We'll live.
35.
Ooh.
I'm killing all of them. I'm calling it.
I guess I don't have confidence. I think 20 and I'd probably be done for.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stick with Horfan Ryan because he's and Todd. He says 50. You say all of them. So let's book it and put it on pay-per-view.
We'll do a Hell in the Cell match.
But yeah. Well, see, that wouldn't even work, because if you kick them, they just bounce off, and you need a place where you can actually kick him out of the ring and have a shot. I think in a Hell in a Cell match, you're done.
You got to pick up 2, one in each arm, and then just swing them around at the other ones.
All right. So last series of questions here from Chuck, Captain Amazing 85. Puppet movies always make the puppets as creepy as possible. Do you think it would make it scarier if it was a cheerful, fun puppet?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't think tonight's one is super. I mean, yeah, he's creepy looking, but I don't think they made him look like Annabelle per se, where Annabelle's already creepy right off the bat, So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think if it just looked like a normal doll, it would be just as creepy.
Back to the doll fight. Steve, think about you being in your mom's room with all the porcelain dolls. Could you take them? They're porcelain. You just drop them on their head and they're dead.
Yeah, they're porcelain, but some of them are pretty big. So she has some 3-4 foot one. I'd say 3 feet.
That's terrifying.
3 feet one. Yeah. So I don't know, man. They're depends how strong they are, I guess. So what do you think, Todd? Scary doll versus
friendly or scary?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I think it works both ways, because you got Chucky, who's really sweet, but he's evil. So let's start with, it's always nice to have them nice at the beginning, and then they transition into being mean, if that makes sense.
Sam?
I missed the question.
Do you think that, do they need to be scary dolls to make it work, or can it be like a fun loving doll and it would be just as scary?
I mean, a fun loving doll that kills you?
Right. Like same movie, but a doll that looks fun versus, like an Annabelle type doll.
I mean, I guess both would be scary no matter what. If it's always attacking you, doesn't matter what it looks like.
Yeah, I think you kind of need the scary doll, and I think that's the reason they didn't go with Raggedy Ann and Conjuring. If you replay The Conjuring and it's a Raggedy Ann doll, do you take it as seriously? I don't think so.
No.
I think that's more of a scary movie type, situation where they're spoofing The Conjuring than it is a horror film. I think it's just
like if it was a Bart Simpson doll.
Right. There's a way to have a regular doll that's scary, like the fucking ones in my mom's house, where it's because they have creepy, real life features. But if it's a goofy looking doll, then I don't think it would necessarily work. But Poltergeist is pretty goofy if you look at it at face value, and that was a pretty like scary scene, at least at the time. So maybe. His next question: can each member attempt to talk without moving their lips?
I thought that was your attempt.
Are we really gonna try this? Without moving my lips?
Right. No, we've been doing it the whole episode.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do it the rest of the episode.
All right, I'll go. Ready?
Yes.
Hey, Shan, how are you doing today?
You're so cute.
Well, shut up. Did you like on the water? Shut up your asshole. I don't. I think I got it. I think I got a career.
That's pretty good.
so.
Yeah. You kind of look
Oh
like
my
a house, like a wax figure. It's creepy.
Hey, Joe. Remember that one time that you put your thumb up your butt?
No, Todd, I don't remember I did that.
Okay, let me try. You're listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
That's pretty
pretty
damn
I
good.
like it. You got the
Actually.
smile still. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. So
Oh,
confirmed.
Steve's not gonna try.
No, because I tried it when I saw the question earlier,
He's trying
and
it.
I
You're
sound
pooping,
like
you're on the toilet for practicing.
I like sound like Snuffleupagus if you had a cold. Like
Aw.
it does not sound good at all.
Oh my god.
His next question: what movie puppet is the coolest of all time, and why is it the Freddy puppet from Nightmare on Elm Street 3?
Definitely cool. Maybe the coolest. But I'm gonna go coolest puppet of all time is Slappy from Goosebumps franchise. For me.
He looks a lot like Billy.
He does. Yeah.
It's yeah.
I don't know, man. Nothing really jumps out at me.
Yeah, puppet wise, from a scary movie, couldn't tell you, but from a music video, the NSYNC dolls. It's gonna be May, right?
I mean, the movie's called Puppet Master, but I've never considered like the Puppet Master puppets like
Yeah, I thought they were just
actual
toys, but
puppets. Yeah.
I was gonna say Leech Woman, but I'm like, well, if you consider it like puppet, then
Yeah. They're more
All
like
right.
just figures.
I'll still pick Leech Woman.
Okay. She's a good choice.
So there's actually two puppets in one of the movies I'll be talking about on my watch tonight, and whew, it was something, let me tell you. So definitely not those puppets, but yeah, no, Nightmare on Elm Street 3 I think would probably be the best one as well. Freddy puppet's really very cool. And the final question tonight, Sam, let's get that food pairing with no strings attached. Ooh, spaghetti.
Oh my god. Since I'm snacking on popcorn, I'm just gonna go with good old popcorn, guys. Nothing exciting. Sorry to let you down.
I think Donnie Wahlberg in this movie would eat something like obnoxious,
Like what?
like Jello or something, like in the middle of interrogation, just like. So, what happened to your wife? He seems like a guy that would do that for sure.
Like a little pudding
He
cup.
does, eh?
Yeah, he puts his tongue in the pudding cup too.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
mid-sentence.
So he's eating tobacco. I was gonna call it tobacco pudding, tapioca pudding,
Oh, tapioca. So
and he's
good.
like squeezing the beads like with his teeth.
Yes.
Ew.
Yum.
Yeah, he seems like that kind of guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, totally.
Well, what was
Jamie.
what a babe. What was Jamie's dad
Jamie's
eating?
a babe too, really?
Oh my god, yeah. I
He was
forgot like
like-
how hot he was.
Yeah.
My god, no, he like
Oh.
went on a whole trip to see who killed his wife. Are you joking? So
Okay.
romantic.
We'll allow it. I think his dad's wife was hotter than Jamie, personally. She's crazy though.
Yeah, she's cute.
And then his wife too, the one died. I'm like, okay, I kind of got a thing for it. Not
All
bad.
right.
Yeah.
What did Jamie eat though? He
No, the dad.
Oh, the dad. He's eating like lobster. And
No,
like
what was
scallops.
what was she feeding him that just like went in the back
Oh,
of his
It was soup, wasn't it?
His soup, yeah. It was
what
like
kind of soup though?
it looked like clam chowder.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it kind of looked like anyway. But
Yum.
I was gonna say, I think the menu tonight should be the Chinese food that they never got to have.
Oh, I
I
love Chinese
know.
food so much.
Yeah, me
What do you
too.
think they ordered?
Some egg rolls for sure.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
They
probably
look
had
like a
some chow
wonton
mein.
crew.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely a wonton soup in there.
I
Chow
was
mein.
thinking maybe like beef and
Sushi.
green pepper.
I don't think they were
Sushi.
sushi. I don't think.
No, they
No,
weren't
no
sushi.
I think they went
Alright.
Chinese, not Japanese.
Okay.
So maybe General Tao.
Hmm.
I peg him as a General Tao.
Can't go wrong with Little Orange Chicken though.
Mm.
Broccoli beef. What are the crab ragoons?
Mhm.
Honey walnut shrimp.
Oh.
Yum yum.
Fried rice.
Eat up, motherfucker.
All
He's
right.
eating for one now.
Yeah.
So he's eating for nobody now.
Oh, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Well, after all that food talk, we need something to wash that down. So what
Oh.
better way to do that than some Deadly Grounds coffee?
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
What watched?
Yes.
Steve, what kind of puppet movies have you been watching, buddy?
Oh boy. Okay. So we got a screener in. Said that from this year, of course. I think it releases this week it releases on the 24th of August on VOD, and it's called The Forever Room. In this one, it takes place pretty much all in one room. A girl is chained up to the side of the room and by her mom, and her mom keeps going down there and trying to take care of her, give her some sandwiches and stuff, and she's just kind of telling her that she needs to be down there and that she wants her to get better, and the girl wants nothing, doesn't want to hear it, and she refuses to eat the sandwiches and she refuses to bathe, but the mom tries to bathe her anyway because she smells. And it's basically an hour and 20-minute dialogue fest of this girl and her mom just talking about all sorts of stuff that just it was just dialogue for the sake of dialogue, if you ask me personally. The sound mixing was pretty cool. The acting was okay. Cinematography was decent, but man, I was bored watching this movie. Like, it's just not the type of movie I personally enjoy to watch. There was a twist ending near the end that I thought was decent, but then after the twist ending, the movie keeps going and like completely just destroys the twist ending just by going on too long after the ending. And it's just, I don't know. It wasn't one of my favorite films. There's also these weird ghosts that show up in the room for the girl, kind of doing some exposition and stuff like that, including one that has puppets, these two like sock puppets that she uses to communicate. It's a very weird film. Personally, would not recommend it, but if you'd like to check it out anyway, if you like especially dialogue-driven one-room films, it's called The Forever Room and comes out the 24th of August.
All right. My first one is a 1981 film called Dark Night of the Scarecrow, currently streaming on Tubi. I was about to buy the Blu-ray, but then I researched it. I'm like, oh, Tubi's got it for free, so let's do that. This one is a made-for-TV movie, which I didn't know about going in. I decided to look it up because I'm like, man, these kills like have really good potential, but they're all off screen or they're like tiny blood. I'm like, oh, made for TV movie, got it. But anyway, this one starts out with a mentally handicapped man that he's like a grown man, but he thinks like a child, whatever, and he's hanging out with his little girl. Totally innocent, things like that. But there's these freaking turds in the town that are just assholes, right? Older dudes, bigots, whatever. They're like, man, we got to get that guy because I don't like him hanging around with the girl. Even though he's a nice guy, I can understand like maybe being a little bit weirded out, but he's such a nice guy, leave him alone. So they're just like finding any choice to fuck with him. Our guy ends up saving the little girl from a dog attack. But he's, not all there. So he takes the girl when she's unconscious to the family. Looks like she's dead to him because he doesn't really understand, but she lives through it, whatever. But the stupid assholes in town thinks he killed her, even though like a dog bite, whatever. Okay, you can't tell what that is, but anyway. His mom, like he runs to his mom. She's like, okay, go play hide and go seek and they won't find you, which he dresses up as a scarecrow, goes, hides in the field. These guys find them, shoot him, kill him. Then they get off because incompetence by the judge. And then some times pass. They're really stupid. Like they're bragging about killing him, getting away with murder. And then they start getting bumped off one by one. It's a shame because the scarecrow is super cool, but they don't really show him until about the final 2 minutes of the movie. and most of the kills are off screen, so it's kind of a big bummer for that. So I think if they would have shown the Scarecrow stalking, that would have been awesome. And then the villains are like, just like you dislike them so much because they're so mean to him, and he's such a nice guy. And like they got this little posse, like one's like the mailman, and he's like the town badass for some reason, but he's just this really old mean guy. And I just didn't like any of the characters, and like the killer wasn't utilized properly, like I said, and kills were off screen. So not really a recommend, unless you're looking for an 80s made for TV horror movie on Tubi. So Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, 1981.
Righty. I think Sam's a fan of that one, actually.
What's it
Yeah.
called?
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Oh, yes, yes. You didn't like it, Todd?
Well, let me go back into my review from the top. So Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
I'm just joking. Just giving you a hard time.
Alrighty.
Please tell me you didn't watch more American Horror Stories.
Steve, please
Those-
help me.
You guys need
help.
like an intervention.
Well, I don't know if I talked about the episode that I was like, it's been the best so far, like where they went out camping, I think.
No, you didn't talk about that one. If you want
previewed
to.
it, but you didn't talk about it.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, I'm going to talk about that one. Okay, so it was an episode called Feral, and it's about a boy named Jacob who disappears on a family camping trip. 10 years later, his father is approached by a hunter who presents evidence that his son is still alive after being kidnapped by a drug cartel. He offers to take the dad and the mom. Meanwhile, they had been like separated and divorced, and like it just completely ruined their lives, and they don't talk to each other anymore. So anyways, this guy, I don't know, it's so fucked up. He takes them on like a wild goose chase hunt, whatever the saying is. And you're thinking that it's the drug cartel that took the kid, but then he was paid by the supposedly drug cartel to get these people out there so he can kill them. But then when they go out there to the drug cartel spot, everyone's like eaten up. And so he's confused, and he was like, oh, I was supposed to bring you out here so we could take your money, and then they would kill you. Like, I just got to do what I got to do. But now everyone's fucking eaten up, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So it's about like these cannibals, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it. Like, I feel like it's the second episode that I've liked so far. But then it kind of got a little ridiculous because they're like inbred as well. And some of them had like, I don't know, there was one guy who had like a lobster claw arm. And then there was another man who had like all of his teeth were in his eye socket. Like it was just a little too much. I thought it was going to be an okay episode, but it was all right. And then just the ending was kind of abrupt, but I told Joe he should watch it because I feel like he might like that out of all of the ones he's disliked so far. So
All
yeah, don't if you're gonna watch one, just watch that or the drive-in one. That's still the best one.
Yeah, I'll watch that one. If you think I'll like it, I'll give it a shot.
I mean,
all
you'll
right.
like it more than the other ones. So
Okay. I'm assuming we'll talk about the other one later too. The last one. Which was the season finale, I believe.
oh, thank
all right.
God.
Yes.
I can get my fucking life back.
Yeah, until American Horror Story comes out in like a few weeks, and you're like,
Right.
oh.
All right. I don't remember if I talked about this one, so stop me if I did. And if you guys don't stop me and I did, I apologize to everyone. So this is a 2018 release called Why Don't You Just Die? It is a Russian movie. And it's about this boyfriend who goes over to his girlfriend's father's house because his girlfriend told him that, hey, like my dad like molested me and raped me as a child, and he's still doing it now. So I just need you to get rid of him. So he goes over there and he attempts to murder the father, but the father is like a cop and like a Marine and a badass, and they get in like this fucking huge melee, and it's it's just so wild. Like, so like on the vein, it's sort of like a horror comedy, so like it's not like super serious. they get into just this insane melee, and the kid ends up getting handcuffed, and then from there, stuff just crazier and crazier as we go, with a lot of twists and turns, a lot of side stories, a lot of characters. I don't really want to give anything else away because this movie's great, and I highly recommend it if you can find it. I believe it's definitely streaming online somewhere. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. You can rent it on Prime for $3.99. So, and honestly, it's worth the $3.99 rental, in my opinion. It's very good. It would have been very close, to making. So it was a 2020 release in America, and it would have been like pretty close to make my top 10 last year. That's how much I enjoyed this one. Teetering on if it's actual horror or not. But it's hyper violent, and and there's definitely some horror themed moments. But a great time, and I guess more maybe action thriller than horror, but definitely recommend checking this one out if you can.
So my last one this week is a film from 2007 that I watched over on Disney Plus, and that's Sunshine. So this movie is directed by Danny Boyle, of course known for 28 Days Later, and it stars Chris Evans, Rose Byrne, and Cillian Murphy. In this one, the sun is starting to lose its potency, which is affecting the Earth by making it colder. And if they don't find a way to reboot the sun, essentially the Earth is going to freeze to death. So they send a gigantic spaceship with a crew of around 8 people to essentially detonate this like crazy amount of nuclear energy into the core of the sun in order to reboot it and regain its potency. So the first mission doesn't work, and they lose track of that spaceship. So they send a second ship, which has the crew of Chris Evans, Rose Byrne, Cillian Murphy, and a few others to kind of complete the mission, because they don't have a third shot because they don't have enough resources on Earth to build a third one. So this is kind of their last hope. So they're going towards the sun, and a bunch of things happen on deck, and there are mistakes that are made, and it's just a crazy adventure. I don't want to say too much because I think kind of going through these issues with this crew is what makes the film really interesting. Everyone in this film does a really good job of portraying kind of how crazy you get on such an important mission. And you have half the people who are like, we have to save other crew members. The other half is like, no, because that jeopardizes the mission. And, like 6 billion people are kind of depending on this mission. So, forget the other crew members. And there's just really interesting kind of, relationship between the crew members and the issues they go to. And it's just a really crazy film. The film looks amazing. It really shows just how powerful the sun is. It's just a really fantastic movie. And I definitely recommend that you check it out if you get a chance. It's a really cool. It's got great effects even for 2007, and definitely a one to watch. And that's Sunshine, which I saw on Disney Plus.
I love that movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why Steve put it on a horror podcast, because it gets very horrific in the second or the last act of that movie.
It does, yeah.
It goes into kind of almost slasher territory.
Yeah, it goes from sci-fi to slasher / horror very very abruptly near the end.
Yeah, it's very good. All right, mine is a 2020 release called Swim. It's a Tubi original. It's the same people that make Asylum films. Those people that, like, when there's Transformer movie, they call it Robot Formers or some blatant rip-off, things like that. This one is terrible. It's bottom 5 easily of the year, and it's about a rich, beautiful looking family that goes to some kind of like beach house, right, in the middle of a storm, and a shark gets in the house. So it's a blatant ripoff of Crawl a couple years ago with crocodile or alligator, whatever it was, but with a shark. The production value is terrible. Like, I don't understand how you can have like a decent budget, or at least professional filmmakers making a movie like this that makes like basic mistakes that are unforgivable when you have money to correct it. For example, you can tell like the weather doesn't help them, like the filmmakers, right? So they have to redub lines and things like that. But it literally sounds like someone in a bathroom recording lines and putting them over the track. And it's just like, oh my God, you're going to be, it's so unrealistic. It's so terrible. The acting is garbage. It's got Joey Lawrence in there from like 1990s fame, Sam Perked Up. I mean, the girls are all great looking, and I guess the guys are handsome and things like that, but the movie's just bad. Like, the CGI is terrible. The characters are just dumb as fuck. And then unforgivable stuff, unforgivable filmmaking errors where if you had the money, you're at least going to get lines recorded correctly, but they didn't, and it's just garbage. Do not watch this. Really cool poster, stupid ass title, stupid ass movie, Swim, a Tubi original. Sorry, Tubi, we haven't liked your movies tonight, but Tubi it is.
Tubi.
Tubi.
Tubi. Tubi. Tubi.
Tubi.
Tubi.
All righty, Sam. Should we talk about the last American Horror Stories we'll probably ever talk about on this show?
No, move along.
I want my life back, American Horror Stories. Shame on you.
Until we get to, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about American Horror Story with
definitely
Culkin eventually. But all right, so the final episode of American Horror Stories. Do you want to go for it, Sam? Or do you want me to go for it?
You can go for it.
Okay. So this one is, I believe, the final episode of the season. It is called Game Over, and we return to Murder House. Let's go back to that well, if it hasn't been dried out before. But in this one, we have an opening with two massive horror fans. One played by Miley Cyrus's sister, which, hey, I mean, they're just throwing everyone in this show now. So why not?
Biley Cyrus?
Biley Cyrus, yes. Who Sam said looks like a young Vera Farmiga.
She does.
I'm gonna look her up. What's her name?
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus's sister.
Noah Cyrus.
I'll do Miley Cyrus's sister.
Is it?
Is it Noah the guy?
That's what I was going to say. I think
her
that's
brother?
Metro Station. Who's the sister? What's her name?
Noah? Brandy?
Miley and
Brandy?
I got
Brandy's
a
her mom.
I got a Brandy and a Noah here.
Do
Both
Noah.
girls.
Okay.
She's dark haired. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
she's
you're
dark.
right. She does look like her.
Doesn't she?
Okay. Got it.
So, all right. So anyway, we got like two massive horror fans who met at a horror convention. They are lovers and they do all things horror. And right now they're on a tour to visit all of the famous horror movie and TV show filming locations. So they decided to go to the Murder House, famous for American Horror Story, the TV show. Yes, the TV show is now, we have broken a different wall here where the show is, an actual TV show. So they go to the house, stay an overnight. They get murdered by obviously all of the monsters and stuff inside. We actually get a cameo from Twisty the Clown in here in the house and shit. So you're kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why is Twisty the Clown in a different season of American Horror Story? Bang, the opening scene ends with us finding out that they're inside a video game, and that we have a video game creator who is she is a mother who is creating a American Horror Story video game to get closer to her son, but is also bankrupting her at the same time. So basically, in a desperation move, she makes an offer to buy the Murder House so she can learn more about the show and try to salvage this video game, which her son said sucked, basically, because she didn't, she was putting in characters from different seasons into one and whatnot. We'll leave it, I think, there, so as not to spoil you any further. But yeah, I mean, not a great episode in my opinion. Once again, just like returning to the same well that they already did like this in 2 episodes this season. So like, I feel like half of the season was spent in Murder House, which, don't get me wrong, Murder House was like my favorite season, but like going back to it now, like over and over again, it's like, okay, we've already done this. Is the same shit over and over and over again. It's gotten old and tired. And it's frustrating because like I had high hopes for American Horror Stories because I was like, okay, they can like do different things and maybe, doing 1 hour contained episodes will be good for this format. But no, it's been trash and like using like the same exact actors from other seasons of American Horror Story and stuff. It's just like, okay, that's cute, but not really. Like it's fucking lame. And yeah, I will not probably watch the second season, but I probably will.
My God. Yeah, and with this one, the episode that Joe's talking about, it was like also like each 10 minutes would be like, oh, just joking, it's a game. But then it'd be like, oh, just joking, it's a game within the game. And then it'd be like, oh, it's a game within the game within the game. And it was just so fucking stupid. And the poor mom was getting so much unrealistic shit from her son. Like it was so stupid. She was like losing all of her money just to build this game to get close to her son. But then he was mad at her because she didn't understand the American Horror Story universe. And she didn't understand why the Murder House season is the best season in American Horror Story. Like it was just so fucking stupid. And I didn't like it. But anyway, I will not be watching season 2. Mark my word. I'm not watching season 2 of American Horror Stories, but I will be watching season 10 of American Horror Story with Evan Peterson. That's the only reason I'm watching, is to support EP, okay?
Nana Macaulay?
To support EP and MC. Yeah.
There was a fun cameo in this one. Dylan McDermott made.
Oh yeah,
a
he was the
return for
only
this
part.
episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he probably was like, wow, this is really stupid, but all right.
That check.
Get
And
that coin.
And it was cool to see Twisty again for like 10 seconds. But I don't think it was the same actor.
Oh, really? I was just going to ask. Did it look like it was still...
It didn't look like the same actor to me, but it was like so quick that, I mean, it could have been. But I doubt they would have brought him back for like a 10-second cameo. I'm sure, doubt they would have paid him for that, but who knows?
What else is he doing?
Yeah.
Maybe. He's doing the convention circuit. I know that much.
Yeah. And never had a chance to meet him. I think I would meet him though.
Me too. I like Twisty a lot, so.
Yeah. And he was good in The Invitation, which I love that movie.
Yeah, he wasn't bad in The Walking Dead either, so.
First one episode.
First one episode.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to get back to watching Walking
Me too.
Dead.
It just launched on Netflix. I need to get into it. Are you caught up with everything on Netflix besides the new season just dropped, Sam?
So what's the newest season they put on there? 11 or 12?
I don't know. Steve, do you know?
10 is the last one that they, because 11 started yesterday.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
I'm in
10's
the
up.
middle of 9 still.
Why don't you finish 9 up and then let me know? We can watch
Yeah,
at
let's
the
do
same
it.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet. Let me know. All right. I think it's trivia time.
Trivia time.
Ooh, let me get out the
Scared.
notes here.
Steve's got a commanding lead right now.
He is commanding lead. He does. He does. I'm gonna get in Steve's head right now, though,
Oh.
by just looking at him.
Yeah, you do that.
My ring camera on Ghost Hunter is going off.
Nice.
Yes, it's titled Ghost Hunter.
With the Ghost Center, yeah.
We'll get that later. All right, Steve, commanding performance, first place, 81 points. Ooh, Joe, right up on his ball sack at 76. Todd, 75. Sam, 51.
Woo
This
woo.
is game number 32. I need to break my 2-week 0 streak.
Ooh.
That's hurting me now. It's hurting me.
That's
Joe had a 0
hurtful.
last week. Ooh.
I did. I'm ashamed.
Sam and Steve are the only ones who've been performing lately. So let's pick it up, Joe.
All right, so I'll start.
Trying. Oh,
Daddy Steve wants to start.
look at that. He's starting. He wants to do it while
Ready.
we're cold.
All right.
I see that. I
Let
see.
me warm
what
up.
he's
Let me
doing.
warm up, Joe. What's the who wrote the original The Shining, Joe? Get you warmed up.
Oh, let's do it.
Are you ready?
Okay, that's incorrect. Okay, 0 points for Joe.
All right, so this one comes to us from Mondo,
Ooh.
and this is the most Mondo question ever. In Hocus Pocus,
Oh,
God.
what word does Danny use when telling Allison that Max likes her boobs?
Yabos.
Correct.
Yapos.
yes.
Classic. Very cool.
Good job, Sam.
You have to
Sam on the
answer. You have to
board.
answer all the trivia questions in ventriloquist style.
Yavos.
Yavos. Yavos.
All right, you're up, Sam.
Oh, me. Okay. Tonight's trivia questions are brought to you by the awesome Kayla. If anyone else sent them my way, sorry, this one was on the top of my messages, so I picked this one. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay. It took about a year to get the iconic shot in where blood pours out of the elevator in The Shining, right? But only how many days to film?
1.
3.
We got 1 on the board. We got 3. It doesn't matter. Steve got it. 3.
3. Can
Okay.
you repeat the question though, Sam?
Yeah.
Even though here you got it.
So it took about a year to get the iconic shot in where the blood pours out of the elevator in The Shining, but only how many days to film?
I don't get it. It took 3 days to film, but it took a year.
It took a year to set it up and then 3 days to actually film it
Oh,
because they had to reset it twice, I think.
gotcha. Okay. Steve on the board.
All right,
Damn it.
Steve, I
Fucking
guess.
shit.
Fucking son of a fucking
Fucker.
bitch. Motherfucker.
Cocksucker.
Piece of shit.
I get the same treatment on the Let's XP
Aw.
gaming podcast.
Motherfucker. All right, I'll go. I got one right here.
All right.
According to Kayla, well, not according. I mean, this is the correct answer. But Kayla, what country does the movie Dead Alive take place?
New Zealand.
Joe with New Zealand is correct. Good movie.
Thank you. Thank
I didn't
you.
know that. Interesting.
Really? So does Bad Taste.
Yeah, most
His
of his
first movie.
movies do. Yeah.
We're doing
Okay.
Sith, Middle Earth.
Yes. Okay. First question comes from my brain,
Oh,
but I
It's a
do have
dangerous
some.
place.
I do have some from Kayla later. All right. So in Dead Silence, tonight's
Ooh.
movie,
Billy.
how many dolls does Mary Shaw have?
100.
Incorrect.
What?
It's incorrect.
All right, Sam, take it. Steal it.
Can I get a
75.
second guess?
No, you cannot.
Todd said no, you can't. So I'm sorry.
All right.
Yes, we can. 101.
Okay. All
102.
right. That is correct.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
It's
say.
been one.
Yeah.
I stole it from you. I
Makes
feel bad, but I
sense.
don't feel bad because I'm losing. So suck it.
Yeah, because you're counting Billy, I guess.
Billy's. Yes, it's 101. It
No,
is
how,
said.
How is that possible?
it
'Cause
said-
Actually,
it-
you know what?
No, you have to count Jamie.
It's actually
He's the
wrong. Yeah,
newest one.
you have to count the human ones too.
but didn't Billy
Um,
have a place on the wall?
They.
He was
I
like
mean,
70 something.
in the movie, they said she had 101 dolls.
Okay, but what about the other people that turned into
Do
the
the
dolls?
human
I
dolls
mean,
count?
I don't count those.
Go to the
I'm counting
judges.
what they said in the movie.
Okay, if they
Well,
said it in the
okay.
movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
right.
Todd's like,
All right.
fine, I'll take the point.
I'll take it if you must.
Right.
All
Okay.
right, back to Steven.
Yeah. What are the monsters in them?
Ants.
Yeah, that's good. Giant
Yay!
ants, but
Giant ants,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Classic sci-fi horror right there.
Never seen it.
You probably have it. So it was like on TV a lot when you're younger.
Oh, I'll have to look it up then. Okay. How many times did actors have to ride a roller coaster to film the roller coaster scene in Final Destination 3?
Oh God.
35.
12.
50.
Okay, we got 25. We got
30,
12.
35.
I was 12, Steve was 35, and Joe was 50.
Yes.
You're all wrong.
Oh.
26 times.
Ooh.
I was gonna do closest, but you guys are good on points, so
Yeah. You're right.
That's fine.
Sam with the point. Being generous. Okay, never mind. All right.
wait, I did get a point. I got Yabos, Todd. Did you mark it
I know,
down?
well, I was going to give you another point right now, but then you didn't say anything, so I
Oh.
said never mind.
Okay, maybe next time I'll get it.
Joseph.
Joe.
Okay. Next question. Once again, Dead Silence related.
Ooh.
Okay. The town in Dead
Ravens Fair.
Silence
Yeah, Steve got it.
is called
A
Ravens
quiet
Fair.
place to live.
That's correct.
Very nice.
What is the town's tagline?
Yeah, a quiet place to live.
That is like cheeky fucking thing to say about the movie. A quiet place to live. Come on.
Right.
Steve with 2 points. All right.
Odd.
Let me look at my questions here. Oh yeah, I have one for Mon.
What do they
In
call
Ho-
tits in like something else?
Yabos.
Yeah.
In Hocus Pocus, All right, Hocus Pocus related. Max's costume is given 2 descriptions. What are they?
Little Eager
Okay. What's the other one?
and a
I know it, but I'll let Sam.
Can she dig deep? Can she dig deep?
Do I
Kid
get
on the
half a
Block.
point? Or there you go. You got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we'll get it. Good job.
What was it?
He
You
put
can.
rapper, but
Oh,
that's the same thing.
Sean,
I
it's
suppose.
not the same.
Well, little. I mean, New Kids on the Block, right? Is a musical artist, so we'll allow it.
He says a new kid on the block, so
Yeah,
I
he
give it
does.
to her.
All right. Last question from Kayla.
Who was that from, Mondo?
See,
Shout out to you, Mondo. Good looking out tonight.
So from Kayla, in which movie did Christopher Lee play Frankenstein's mother? Monster. Sorry. Man, I'm like, I'm reading it. I'm like, damn.
that's some,
Christopher Lee, that
some
would've
deep
been-
shit.
Yeah. No. So in which movie did Christopher Lee play Frankenstein's monster?
Curse of Frankenstein.
Correct.
Yes.
Nice.
Ooh, 3 points tonight, baby.
I'm kind of
Not
disappointed now.
23.
I wish
There
he
we go.
played Frankenstein's mother.
That's a director's cut.
Yeah,
Would've been
Yeah,
a
that
different
would have
movie,
been
yeah.
before its time for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
That's a cut we need. Release the.
Yeah, the mother cut.
Yeah. All right.
My turn.
Yes.
Yes.
All righty. Got to be fast on this.
Don't you
one.
dare say the tagline to this movie.
Dead silence.
You
You
scream,
scream,
you die.
you die. We're all ready for it now. We're all like,
Ever since you
All
pointed it
right.
out, Steve, now I'm like, okay, I gotta take note.
yeah, no.
All right.
New bag of
That's
tricks.
fucked
She's like, all right, well, let me come up with a new question real
She
quick.
just angrily
I'm like,
scratches
what
it
was the IMDb rating for Dead Silence?
off. 6.3. Is that a real question?
It can.
Oh, I'm close. It's 6.2.
You are close, yeah. All right, no, seriously though. Okay. How many Academy Awards did The Exorcist get nominated for?
3.
Ooh.
5.
3's going 3 on this one.
I'm gonna say 2.
3, 5, and 2?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are all wrong, and you all suck because it's 10.
Wow.
Wow.
That's cool. How many
That's
did it win?
awesome. 1, maybe?
Yeah. 1, I think.
For what best?
It was like score or something. It wasn't even like.
Hmm.
Score's good though.
It is good. I'm
You
saying
guys-
it's.
You guys don't suck. I was
Should have
just
got like best makeup at least.
I don't know if they had best makeup in
Did they? No.
at that time. It's
It's a bummer.
Newer
possible.
one.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's bullshit anyway. Because what? Didn't get best comedy or some stupid shit like that.
That was at
It was
the
mi-
Golden
yeah,
Globes.
musical comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All righty.
Right. Oh, your turn.
Tagline.
Oh no,
Thanks to Kayla.
Kayla.
Good luck with this one. It's not over yet.
It's not over yet. Sounds like it'd be a sequel.
I will say this movie. I'll give you the year this movie came out to help you out here. But the tagline once again is "It's not over yet." I will say it is from a franchise movie.
Saw.
Saw it on the board. Saw Part 1. Is that what you're going with?
Final Destination franchise.
I'm just
I
doing
need
Saw
the
in
I
general.
need
No,
the
I need-
exact movie.
Exact movie.
Final Destination 3.
I'd
Okay.
say Saw 4.
Saw 4.
Saw 2.
Okay. I will say, I think Sam deserves like a point because she got the
Final
franchise right.
Destination? Oh, yeah,
It's
It's Final Destination 2.
Was it?
All right.
At least we were all like pretty close, except for Sam. Obviously got it right, but
Yeah.
we weren't all dumbfounded this time like usual.
Yeah.
Who? I think someone on the Discord just rewatched Part 3. I forget. I thought that was Caleb. I guess it wasn't.
Might have been. Because she also, I think she gave me another question that had to do with Final Destination. So 3's the roller coaster.
Yeah. Ben Franklin.
Yes. Fuck you.
I
Best
love
one.
Final Destination.
You just like that.
All of them?
There was an interview that I watched the other week. It was like an hour long that he did. maybe like 2 years ago. I'll recap it real quick because I know you guys all want to know. So they had asked him why he wasn't in the next Final Destination. And he said at the time he was filming the first one, he said he was like a really big pain in the ass to work with because that's when he was like on top of like his career. Like he was just in the Eminem video, Idled Hands had just come out, and then he was doing Final Destination. And he said he just like partied too much to where he wasn't like really professional when he went to work. And then also he talked about the movie The Fanatic. He said that it was originally at the time when he was talking, they were going to call it just Moose. Like he didn't even address it as The Fanatic. It was just called Moose. So
That's cool.
Yeah, just a little.
That's good. He acknowledged he was an asshole and he recovered. I like that.
Yep.
He's still wouldn't land Jessica Alba, but that's another story. Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Last question. Yep.
This is a Todd original here.
Uh-oh.
How many movies have James Wan and Lee Winnell worked together on? So Lee Winnell's the writer of this, James Wan's director.
Does producer count, like producing
No.
credits? Okay.
Director
So I
and
actually
writer.
like director. Okay.
2.
2 is on the board. And to be clear, James Wan directing, Lee Winnell writing. That's what I'm looking for. If you want to rephrase or
I'm gonna go 4.
4,
I'm gonna go 5.
5. Joe, you got 2 still?
Hold on here.
No, you
Direct-
already guessed, Joe.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. 2. Yeah. Fine,
All right.
that's fine.
Steve's right anyway. 4.
Yeah.
Good job, Steve.
Good combo. Good,
Great combo,
director,
yeah.
writer, yeah.
Well, 4 were they?
Insidious 1, 2,
Dead Silence
then
and
Dead
Saw.
Silence. Yeah, so. I mean, if you did producing, it'd be like fucking
That's
10.
amazing.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
Yeah,
it's a
I was
whole
gonna
different
say
answer.
12. Yeah. All right.
All right, let's go. Scores.
Oh, I thought someone had a 4th.
No,
No.
that's it.
Okay, tonight myself 3, Sam 3, Steve 3, Joseph 1, and the scores are: Steve first place 84, Todd second place 78, Joe third place 77, Sam 54. All right, Joe, Steve, you're still in commanding first sleep, buddy. We'll see how long it lasts, though. I don't know if the pressure's gonna get to you.
Hopefully till January.
I'm gonna 3-peat, baby.
How many points is Steve up from Todd?
6
I'm
now.
at 6, yeah.
Okay.
We're actually trending a lot higher than last year on point totals here. So I
Yeah,
think
'cause
I ended at 100.
You're trying to like aim him 100. I gave you an extra question that was
Yeah.
George Romero related, just so you had 100.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, but we also last year didn't do as many trivia nights because a lot of us were missing like an episode here and there, either for
Yeah.
like different travel or whatever.
Okay, ready to do Dead Silence?
Yes.
All right, Dead Silence, directed by James Wan, 2007. You scream, you die. Jamie returns to his hometown in search of answers to his wife's murder, which occurred after receiving a weird package containing a ventriloquist dummy named Billy, which may be linked to the legend of ventriloquist Mary Shaw. Destined to find out the truth, Jamie goes to the town of Ravensfair, where Shaw used to perform and is buried. But Jamie is in more. Sorry. But Jamie is in for more than he expected. All right, Dead Silence starts off with our hero, a young married couple hanging out in their apartment. They're about to bang it out because he's like, I'm handy. He's working under the sink. It turns the girl on. She starts getting on him. Oh man, but there's a knock on the door, ruining the mood. So he goes to answer it, and it's a big ass case with a creepy ass ventriloquist doll in it. And he's like, where's this from? There's no label on it. Who would have sent this? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, wait, don't you remember the legend from our town, Mary Shaw, who was a ventriloquist artist? Maybe it has something to do with that. He's like, nah, I'm hungry. So they go get the Chinese food, right? He's out there messing around. He gets some wontons, some crab rangoons, whatever. He comes back. But something's amiss. He hears his wife's voice, but he also finds a lot of blood. Goes into a room, and his wife is dead with her mouth cut open like a ventriloquist doll. The police quickly blame him for the murder because, hey man, your door was locked. No forced entry, no defense wounds. You were the last one to see her. You also claim that you heard her talking like 3 seconds before you found her body. So which is it? Donnie Wahlberg plays a cop who from Saw fame and from what's that one? I See Dead People.
Sixth
In the
Sense.
beginning of that. Sixth Sense. There you go. So he gets released, but he's being watched by Donnie Wahlberg, who has an obsession with shaving his face at all times. He goes back to his hometown, our lead character here, to try to like investigate the legend of Mary Shaw to see if it has anything to do with his wife's death. throughout that, he's being chased by the detective, and he's just trying to piece together everything. I saw this movie back in 2007. I don't remember if it was in the movie theater or not, but I know for sure it was on home video, and I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it this time. However, the problems I had with it back then are still prevalent today, mostly being the very bad CGI stuff in here. But yeah, long story short, I enjoyed it. So who would like to take over?
I'll go. So I just watched this, like I said, either November or December of last year. So it's a pretty fresh watch for me, but I watched it again just to kind of see how I was. It's different when I'm reviewing something rather than just watching it. For What Watch, I'm like more critical and I look at more stuff. So it's a good movie. I really enjoy it. I think there are issues, like Todd said, the CGI. The tongue stuff always looks bad. Like every time the tongue comes out, the CGI somehow takes a big dip. But there are also some really cool scares. Every time you see a body in this film, it's like fantastic. The way the gaping like mouth is. Mary Shaw looks amazing. She's super spooky. When her body is like at the morgue there, just a super freaky scene and everything. There's a lot of good scares in this one, and despite its issues, I was interested throughout the whole thing. There are some things which I'll talk about when we really kind of break it down that annoyed me, including the shaving for reasons and other little nitpicks and stuff. But as an overall film, I kind of enjoyed it. And even though like I knew the twist coming in because I'd watched it so recently, but it's still an effective twist. I think it was a cool little like touch to the movie, and overall I enjoy it.
So this was my pick, and the reason I did pick it was because I had not seen this in a long time, so it was a pretty fresh watch. I didn't remember a ton about it, and my opinion really hasn't changed all that much from the first time I saw it. I think it's an okay movie, but there's a lot of problems here. I think, and we can get into it more later on. I still lean though more positive than negative at the end of the day on it. But yeah, I mean, there's just mixed results for me for sure. I love the Mary Shaw character though. I think she is great. And I think all of the dolls and stuff, that's really cool. I loved the addition of like just like her like murdering little boy. I thought that was really interesting, and I kind of wish they went into that a little more than they did. But I can see why they didn't at the same time too. It might have been a little too controversial for this type of movie.
Kid was a fucking asshole though.
Yeah. But I loved the whole backstory and stuff like that. That was like my favorite part of the movie when they went to like Mary Shaw's backstory. And yeah, I'll go into more nitpicks later on.
So I saw this movie in the theater when it came out, and I absolutely loved it. It is so fucking scary. I've seen it a few times since, and anytime someone brings it up, I'm like, that movie is so good, and I feel like it's underrated. Okay, so watching it today, I still really love it. I love the coloring of it. Like, it's very blue and gloomy. Like, I just love when movies look like that. It just, I don't know, it speaks to my gloomy heart. But the character of Jamie and his sweet little wife, she reminds me so much of Rosemary's Baby. Like, I just feel like I love her already just because she looks like Mia Farrow, I think. But you can just, they just are getting along with their little happy married life and their little apartment. It's just so sweet. And I remember like the opening scene, kind of opening scene where she does die. And that is so fucking frightening. Like, she's literally on the bed, stiff as a board with her whole face opened up at the mouth. Like, it's frightening. It's kind of like the scene from The Ring where that girl's in the closet. Like, it's just so scary. And especially when everything goes so quiet, it's like she's slowly losing the hearing of like the music, the clock, the teapot. You can't even hear her steps. It's like literally dead silence. So yeah, and then I think it's interesting just like how Jamie kind of goes on this exploration of how his wife died, like how did it happen? And it's really scary to me because he's I don't know how to explain it. Like he's by himself, even though we get like supposedly his dad that's still alive, his stepmom, we get the cop. Like I just feel like he's alone in this adventure. Like he doesn't have anyone that he can really turn to, if that makes sense. Like I just feel like he's carrying so much of this movie. And if I were that character, like I would just be too afraid. I would probably just die of fear. I like this story with Mary. I think all of the dolls are cool. She's so scary. Like I don't even want to think about her because she'll give me nightmares, but she's just frightening. What else can I say? Okay, about the CGI. So the CGI never really bothered me, but I was watching it while I was on my computer today, and it was really the first time that I noticed like the whole tongue CGI. But if I just looked at another part of the frame, I was fine. So I'm not gonna give it too much shit for that. But I can't wait to hear all of your guys' nitpicks about it.
Before we start the nitpicks, I just think I should mention that I didn't see it in theater. I've only watched the DVD that I bought way back when it first came out, and I've only seen the unrated version. So I don't know if you guys watched the theatrical version or what version you have. So I don't know what they changed between the versions, but just a note, if I say something that you're like, that didn't happen, it's maybe because I have the unrated version.
That's the one I have. I'm not sure what the difference are.
I'm thinking probably some of the kid scenes are probably less, like they show a little bit less of the dead kids, you know?
Yeah.
But
I
don't know.
I guess.
Yeah.
Probably worthwhile to look up in between talking. But nitpicks, honestly, like it gives a lot of information. Like there's a lot of information. Like it seems like every time he talks to like a supporting character, like it's like an exposition dump where he's like, you don't know this, and it goes into like a 10-minute rant, which is not necessarily bad. It's cool having things explained to you, but it does like kind of doesn't leave anything up to your imagination. It's all pretty much given to you. And then CGI really, and then other than that, like it's fucking solid to me. So, and I guess Billy was never really scary to me either. Like the character puts him in situations that like, this is a creepy doll, dude. Like, why are you setting him up in the corner of the motel room just to set yourself up to get scared in the middle of the night, you know? But Mary Shaw, like Sam said, like is legit terrifying. Like I even watching again, like I get goosebumps when she come on. Like she's always like just, it's a really good camera work where she's like just in frame, like when the guy turns and she's just like staring at him or smiling or something.
Yeah.
Super good. Yeah. And then like Sam said as well, stealing a lot of Sam stuff. The sound dropping out and how they showed it, like they close up on like a drip and then it gets lighter and lighter. Then you just like see the character's reaction. Like imagine that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fucked up. So like nothing, small stuff bothers me really. Everything else is pretty good. And Donnie Wahlberg too, super insensitive. Like I know that's his job. Like the husband is the only, like if this is happening right now, you'd be like, yeah, husband totally did it. Like it's not a doll, but like still like it's a horror movie, we know it is, so we're kind of like, damn Donnie, chill out. But yeah.
So it's just I looked up what the unrated versus rated version is. You won't even fucking believe this. The only difference I can tell is that in the rated version, her tongue doesn't show. So it's the exact same scenes minus the tongue.
Oh,
for some reason the tongue apparently is like a big thing.
Maybe
kind of,
a sexual thing,
yeah, maybe I'd rather watch the fucking R-rated.
I know, same, yeah. Because I definitely watched the
Okay,
it's got a couple
maybe
lines
that's why
of dialogue.
I didn't remember it being bad.
Yeah, it has a couple lines of dialogue too, but nothing. It's really the tongue in most of the scenes.
All right, yeah. So I'll go into some of my problems with the movie. So the Donnie Wahlberg character for me is terrible. He's awful, awful. He drops his movie down quite a bit for me. You take that character out of this movie, I think it's a better movie. I think the cop angle in general is terrible in this movie because it's completely unrealistic. First of all, like me and Sam just listen to like a bunch of true crime stuff, like coming to and from Vermont. So like I'm just like thinking about this in my head. But this dude, prime suspect, murdered his wife, and they just like let him go. No, they would have held his ass and probably would have charged him like right then and there. Okay, let me just let that go and say, okay, they didn't have enough to hold him. So he proceeds to then go to his house, which is a crime scene, take a key piece of evidence out of the house, being the doll from this crime scene, and take it with him. And Donnie Wahlberg still does not arrest him. And it's like, oh, why did you take this? And like questions him. And then just like, it's like, okay, see you later, neighbor. And like, it's just like completely unrealistic. And like, I guess like, okay, you're either going to go with it or you're not. I just couldn't go with it. Cause I'm like, man, this is just like if you're going to base a movie in reality, you have to have, which this movie is like, you know, based like they're going off like a crime with like a police officer and all that. So you have to like at least make it somewhat realistic. And to me, it was just not realistic whatsoever with that angle. So I think just cut out that whole part and you got a much better movie here. Like maybe like, I don't know, like maybe his friend dies. He goes look after that. And there's another problem I have with this movie. So like they moved out of this town and he decides to go back and bury her in this town they really didn't seem like they had any connection to, like, right? That to me just didn't make sense. Like, wouldn't he just go and like bury her somewhere else? Like, why would he go back to the town to bury her? Like,
but wasn't
'cause,
that
like,
where her family was though?
yeah, but there's even a line where they're like, well, what did her family want? He's like, I don't know. I've only talked to them once in my whole life. Clearly, there was no relationship there with like her and her family, and he doesn't have a relationship with her dad. So why is he going back to this town to like bury his wife there? It just didn't make any sense to me because it seemed like they wanted to get out of that town. That's why like they're in the city now and stuff like that. I mean, that's a nitpick, but to me, it just didn't seem like realistic to me either.
Maybe
with that,
it was cheaper to bury her there.
I mean, yeah, it probably was because it was like a very rundown town. But yeah, I mean, so those were like my two very big nitpicks with the movie. It was just kind of like that stuff. And yeah, like the Donnie Wahlberg, just like some of his line deliveries and stuff, it just was like so cheesy to me. It just didn't fit the rest of the movie. Like, I guess they were trying to use him as the comedic relief, but it just wasn't necessary for a movie like this. Like it, you know, it took you out of kind of like the spookiness of the movie. Like it seemed like he was a character in a different movie, came into this movie. You know what I mean? So yeah. So those are like my two big issues with it. But yeah, I mean, Mary Shaw was great. I loved her. She was spooky as hell. And yeah, I mean, the dead kid stuff was awesome. Like that, so fucking creepy. Like I just wish they did more with it. But you know, like I said, at the end of the day, it's still like a decent movie. But I think there's a lot of missed potential here for me.
So I actually agree with you with Donnie Wahlberg. I didn't like that character at all. But for, I guess, different reasons. Like the whole first thing, like the fact that he's just letting him go and letting him go back to the crime scene and pick us on stuff, that was bad enough. Does this detective only have one case where he's like following him across town and like staying at the motel room next door and all that stuff? So that was kind of baffling. Did he really also dig up 100 dolls? Like after 2, you'd think he'd just get the point, you know? No, he fucking stayed there all day and dug up 100 different dolls for what reason exactly? Like evidence?
Good workout.
I don't really get why he was digging up the dolls in the first place. So it's just these little like kind of nitpick issues that and I agree that the character, like his delivery, his lines, like he was really out of place. You know, he's like, yeah, trying to be the comic relief, but not really funny enough to be the comic relief. It's just like, I don't know, it was kind of a weird thing. So the shaving. Okay, so he has this tick throughout the movie where he's always shaving. He always has his razor out. Every time he interviews someone, he's shaving. Every time he's talking, he's shaving. But he's like the worst shaved person in the movie. He's the only one with stubble in the whole movie. Does he grow hair that fucking fast where he's like constantly has to shave it off?
It's a setting on his razor. He wants the 5 o'clock shadow at all times.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like annoying. Like it's just, okay, I get it. It's his little tick. I don't know. That just drove me off the wall. But like I said, it's mostly nitpicks with this movie. You know, no real like massive issues, because overall I still enjoyed the ride. I still enjoyed everything with Mary Shaw. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like I had a lot of fun watching it because the scares came pretty often. You know, every time we saw Mary Shaw was great. I love the whole backstory that they gave to Mary Shaw. I thought that was super interesting. I actually wish we got more of that, which is why I'd like to see a prequel. You know, they really glance over the fact of how Mary Shaw died, which I thought was super interesting. I mean, it's kind of like a Freddy Krueger type situation.
Freddy Krueger, yeah, exactly.
but they really glance over it. Like I wish we had seen a flashback of it happening or something, or a little bit more in terms of that. Also, like the whole thing of her using like actual bodies to, do stuff. There's just, I wish that, I guess they delved deeper in some things and cut out some of the rest, but I still enjoyed it overall.
One thing. So maybe it was like different in the trailer or something, but I thought the nursery rhyme was completely different than how it is in the movie.
There's two versions of it.
There's two versions.
There's two
okay,
versions,
because the one I remember is she'll rip your tongue out at the seam, which is, I think, is way cooler. But so was two different versions. So was that like in a different version of the movie, or
it was the trailer versus the
trailer
the movie
version?
Yeah, I guess
I
they
wonder
toned
why
it
they
down
changed
for the...
it. Yeah, toned
You
it
think
down,
it'd be the opposite, right? The trailer would have the toned down version.
Well, I don't know if you guys read, but Lee Winnell was super upset with how this movie came out. Yeah,
really?
the studio like fucked with
interference.
it.
Yeah.
So after that, he made some deal where like he writes whatever he did like after this, like it makes him have creative control. So that's why the movies are kind of improved. And it looks like, as much as I like this one, like I like it a lot, but you can tell like they were trying stuff out, and this bomb's so bad, like they're lucky it didn't ruin their careers, because it made like 22 mil off of 20 million budget. So it's like, eesh. But I guess studio fuck with it a lot. So
I can see that. Yeah. I can definitely see that. I mean, they weren't, I mean, had either of them, was this after Saw?
Yeah, Saw was first, followed by this one.
Okay. And then they did this. Interesting. I remember like I skipped over this one in theaters because like I don't know why, but there was like something, maybe it was just based on the trailer. It just seemed like I think the trailer may have been the issue here, because like to me it just seemed like a cheesy ghost movie, like the shit we've already seen over and over again, which I'm not gonna lie, like I don't think there's much new here, like in this movie. Like when I did watch it, like I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but like there's nothing really new here. Like it's pretty basic stuff. New? I mean, it's all stuff we've seen before.
You know what though?
But
it wasn't
then,
at the time.
though.
That's the thing,
exactly.
Right? Like it's Insidious and The Conjuring, which weren't out at the time. So
exactly
in 2007, ghost films sucked. It's just so this really kind of was refreshing and a taste of things to come. It was I didn't see a good ghost film since like The Others in '99. So that's a good 8-year period between good ghost films. So I could see that argument now, but that's like saying, like you're watching something from the 60s being like, well, that's not original. There's a ton of Exorcist movies now,
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I saw stuff like in the 90s that was similar. It's not like I don't know. I'll come back to you on another time.
You won't need to, because nope.
Or the early 2000s.
Nope, it's all right. But real quick, I wanted to touch base on poor Donnie Wahlberg. Maybe you guys feel like that because you have seen him in other roles where he's a cop. So maybe you think that. And then also with him letting Jamie go back to the scene of the crime and everything, like literally we listened to, I don't know what Joe was rambling on about the podcast that we listened to. Maybe he was saying that they would not do this. They fucking would too do this. Like there are so many cops and detectives who are morons and dummies who don't know how to conduct an investigation and who let people do stuff like this. So I could totally see him letting Jamie go back and like, oh, well, there's no fucking evidence that I had that you killed the wife. So whatever. So I'm just saying, like, come on now.
Yeah, it does happen quite a bit.
It does. Tell him.
It's believable. What's not believable though is him chasing him across the country by himself. Like, if you really think this is an armed, he's Billy Badass. We'll give him that. But like, still, like, if you think this guy's capable of murder, let's not put yourself one-on-one with the murderer. But whatever. Detective Matthews though in Saw, like he's definitely a better character.
Yeah.
But I lost my train of thought. Oh no, Sam, was this in your top 2000s? It was an honorable for me.
I don't remember if it was.
Yeah, this one was an honorable, so I think a top 15 or something.
Yeah.
I can look it up. I could tell you if it was in Sam, because I have everyone's list. But I gotta say, I did not see the ending coming. Like at all. Like I don't think anyone did, right? Like how could you? right? Like it was
No.
just kind of like fucking random as hell.
I think everyone saw like, what the fuck? Like she's weird and the guy looks like a ghost, but I don't think anyone saw that he was a ventriloquist.
Right. So
You
at
just
first,
assumed he was sickly, like almost on his deathbed.
but did you like the angle that it was Mary Shaw like the whole time? Because like like that is it
No,
right? Am I right about this?
Yeah, I would have preferred if it was like a protege, like or a
I thought it was gonna be
copycat
like her
or,
daughter, her granddaughter,
or something.
or
Yeah,
something.
you know,
That would have been cooler.
yeah.
I
The
think.
fact that it was Mary Shaw herself was weird
Yeah.
to me.
That was kind of lame, if you're like honestly, because like a ghost shouldn't be able to take like a complete physical form like that. Like I feel like, I mean, granted, I guess it's happened in other movies, but in this movie, it just seemed kind of out of place. But I mean, I thought it was cool like that, like when the reveal of like him being a puppet the whole time, and that was pretty fucking cool.
You know what else was pretty freaky, and I know this happens in real life, and that's sad. Is what the Undertaker had to go through with his wife.
Yeah,
That she's just like hiding in the, like
He
in
should
the crawl
freaking
space and
bar
stuff.
that up, man. If
Yeah,
it
no
happens
kidding.
once,
Yeah.
let's bar it up.
Yeah, and she was petting that like crow
Freaky.
thing, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was freaky. And she's like the only one who survives the movie.
Yeah.
So
Good for her.
good on her. Yeah,
She's a final girl.
she is. Absolutely, she is. Yeah, there's
Oh, anything else? I mean,
what to you guys was the scariest like scene in this movie?
good question. Oh, I have a comment. How annoying was that motel room with the red light?
Oh yeah.
Like, put the comforter over the window at least, and then it has like a drippy faucet. Like, get another room. But sheesh, scary.
I'm gonna go with Lisa's death.
The opening death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's sad and scary and lonely and
Yeah.
Plus, he's probably
quiet.
hungry. He didn't eat dinner
Mm-hmm.
or
Mhm.
breakfast because he
That-
was being interrogated.
The whole opening scene is really good. And the cinematography in general is really good in this movie. I will give it that. One part that really I thought was great and striking was when the lightning went off and you don't hear the thunder. Like I don't know
Mhm.
why, but I thought that was awesome. It was such a cool idea. I wish they did that more though, right? Like you only get that like a couple times. I feel like in the whole movie where like you get the actual like pure silence.
Yeah, but I got kind of over it by the end.
Yeah.
It was almost used too much. I thought. So yeah, I thought the opposite.
Okay.
But by the time him and Donnie Wahlberg are like, when it stops going when they're at the theater, I was like, okay, here we go again. With the stupid like play a different trick. It's just
Mhm. Okay.
is it also inconsistent? Like stuff happening even when there was sound. So why is the sound not coming on this time? Kind of deal. So I don't know.
Mhm.
Scariest one though, I think, was the mortician underneath the little crawl space, and she's just like, "Here's my face." That's pretty scary.
Yeah, that was pretty freaky.
Mhm.
To me, it was the mortician when he was a kid, and he goes down with the body, and then he like knocks her
Oh,
over.
yes,
and she's
that's
like,
good.
she goes from the ground to standing up, and yeah, that was really effective.
When year did this come out?
2007.
Okay, I don't have that list. I have Sam's 2010 to 2019, so I don't know if it was on her list.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, see, I thought I watched it in November, December, but now that I'm remembering, I think I watched it right before we did that list for that list.
So did I. Yeah.
So
But I watched it again the other day.
Yeah, so that might be when I watched it last.
Well, I guess we can rate it.
Yeah, that's all I had.
All right. I'm gonna lead off with a strong 8 out of 10.
Okay. I mean, it's an okay movie. I enjoyed it for what it was. Would I watch it again? Absolutely. So I'm gonna give it a 7.
I freaking love this movie, and I'm gonna give it a 9.2.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
Despite its issues and everything, I still really enjoyed it, and it's one I'd rewatch again. So I'm gonna go with Todd. I'm gonna give it an 8 as well.
Ooh,
Nice.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable movie. I love ghost films though, so that's like right in my wheelhouse. And this was a good one. Those guys are the masters at ghost films. So
This is the perfect movie to watch at night in the dark while it's raining outside,
Ooh,
while
I
it's
like that.
storming.
Yeah, this is one definitely seems like people have come around on too, right? Like it seems like people have been talking about it a lot more recently than when it first came out. So
it still
Yeah.
doesn't get as much love as you would expect for that.
no,
No.
definitely not. No, especially for like Mary Shaw. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if we mentioned this, but Count the Monster Museum we have in Count Orlok, they just added a Mary Shaw figure
cool.
to their
Did they? Oh, that's awesome.
place, and it's fucking. It looks great, and she's holding Billy. It's really
Oh,
cool.
really?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Is it dead her or is it
Dead her. Yeah.
okay? Cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Very nice.
Well, I guess Horror Squad approved across the board.
All right, guys. So thanks for listening to another episode. Next week, we'll be reviewing the Monster Squad in honor of our name change, the Horror Squad. And also, as you're listening to the episode today, if you are part of our Discord, we are releasing our new design for our new merch. So we're really excited. So you can join that to see. And then if you're following us on all of our other social media, we'll be posting the new design on August 31st, but you should definitely check out the Discord to get the first peek. And then you can order everything September 1st. All right, guys, thanks for listening. And
Can you
we'll
do
talk
it one
to you
more
next.
time, but as
Really?
a ventriloquist dummy?
Okay, ready? Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Horror Squad podcast. I'm suffocating while I'm doing that. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls. And if you see her in your dreams, be sure you never, ever scream.